I think when I think about justice, it was already very obvious for me to be involved in somehow. And I decided studying social work to really be able to help people who are not necessarily able to navigate the legal system themselves, or who needs protection, or who needs representation, mediation. And it was very coming from a very lived experience place where I was really truly witnessing a lot of limitations and imbalances that we have in our society. And then when I started practicing, actually, many of the systems that we were using started to become more digital, because the digital government was the new thing. E-government was quite trendy, and governments wanted to make all the systems more efficient and more effective to save time, but also to save budget. All good intentions in mind, it turned out to be that these systems had quite a few limitations, that how we decide to categorize people, how we translate their reality into data points. There was actually quite a lot that was going to missing in between those. And this really pained me a lot, because I saw so many people who were telling me their life story or something that was really struggling, that they were struggling with. And all I could do literally just check boxes on a computer screen. And this pain really led me to understand, okay, who designs these systems? How are we deciding who has a decision-making power, and how we are using these systems, and why this is happening? So I ended up actually studying further, and I also worked as an academic researcher, specifically focusing on digital inclusion. Truly understanding what it means for the most marginalized in society to be using these systems, or to be represented in these systems that they might not necessarily know. As a social worker, I was interacting with so many data points that many of my constituents didn't even know that it existed, and they had no right to say anything about it. So that's why really it matters to me when we are talking about access to justice. First of all, people need to know what's happening, right? Procedural justice, but also the processes that they are going through. How was from the interview point up until the decision-making point? How are we moving? The people's stories, the people's lived experiences, and what we can really do to improve it. So I'll end up just by saying, I think we, in a digital society, in a digital age, we cannot talk about access to justice without talking about digital systems and how we're having representations within those systems. Thank you.